just in Japan on my V-Strom 250. So how's it going so far? Very good. It's definitely a bike that is an all-rounder. So I'm using it primarily for commuting, and I've told you that before. I wasn't expecting to really enjoy the bike so much for leisure. I wasn't expecting to actually want to get on the bike and just go for a ride, just purely for fun, or just for leisure, just for the enjoyment of riding. I would describe it probably as the motorbike equivalent of a soft roader. That is to say, it suggests that it's got some kind of off-road capability, but personally it's not a bike I believe should be taken off-road. Definitely not with the tyres, of course. You'd have, if you did want to do that, you'd want to change the tyres. Now it's you know, Suzuki have got across their Sport Adventure Tourer, and I've also seen it in other markets with a different writing across there. I forget what I call it. I think it was a mini dual sport or something. I've definitely seen. Let me know if you're in another market. Yeah, I'm running the bog standard tyres on this. I haven't upgraded anything. Everything is standard as it came out the factory. Now remember, I'm in Japan. This is the Japanese domestic model, and I bought the showroom model because what they told me was they gave me a bit of a discount because it was the showroom model. I hadn't done any miles. It was there's 0 miles or kilometers as we're in Japan. There was 0 kilometers on the meter. This bike came with a center stand, which I believe was an optional extra, but the center stand was on this bike, and I believe that's because it was a showroom model, and they keep them on center stands in the showroom where possible. This is not the ABS version, and I believe in some markets it is not possible to get a version without ABS. I think that might depend on laws in certain markets, but in Japan you can get a version without ABS. The ABS version is more expensive. That wasn't why I bought a non-ABS version, by the way. I bought this version because it was the one in the showroom and there was a waiting list for these, and they've given excuses like supply chain issues and things like that because of COVID. So I think though it's excellent value for money. It's absolutely brilliant. It's when I was looking at bikes primarily for commuting, and I also wanted a bike that could accept full luggage, and at the moment I've only got the top box. I've got the Suzuki official luggage set with it, which was also on promotion. That's why I chose it. And you can fit a helmet in the top box, it only just fits. And I will say that might depend on the size of your helmet. My 57 centimeter head helmet does fit there, but I've got more than one helmet, and one of my helmets is a bit of a squeeze, and it only just fits at certain angles, but another of my helmets fits there no problem whatsoever. So it may depend. You want to watch that. If you primarily want your top box for your helmet, I suggest you check, if you can, whether your helmet fits in there. That's the Suzuki official luggage. One good thing about it is if you're taking a passenger, if you're taking a pillion, the top box does have this backrest on it, which I think some pillions will appreciate. I haven't got the panniers, the side cases on at the moment, and don't need them, but that is great that they go on there, because if you do want to go touring, you do want to go on longer journeys, you do want to carry stuff, perhaps you need to carry stuff for work, the side cases are fantastic. So that was a reason why I chose a bike like this. I wanted one with a dedicated full hard luggage set. The handling is fantastic. Now, as I said, I'm running the box standard tyres. I find the handling great, and I think what surprised me most about this bike was, because my other bike, if you've seen my videos, is a GSXS 1000F. Because of that, I thought I was going to be severely disappointed with the performance of this bike. You know, the lack of power. And I think if you look at a lot of reviews, you know, there are people out there reviewing bikes who, you know, they're always riding big, powerful sports bikes. So you can't compare it to that. You have to think about what it is and what it is to you and what you want it for. I will say that I am not disappointed with its performance, with its power. It's only a 250, it's a 250cc twin, and it's absolutely fine when it's got enough power to get you off the you know, like a traffic light start. You know, you can easily outperform average family cars. You're not going to want to start racing sports cars because you won't keep up with them, but you'll definitely have no problems getting away from the average family car and trucks and buses and things like that. And I say that because if you're commuting and you're going through city traffic, you do find that you not only do you weave in and out, but you do find that you are up against, you know, people in the city also in a hurry. So you will find that that is useful. So the upright position is fantastic. It's one thing I will say against it is that this screen, for me, this screen is absolutely useless. It doesn't seem to do anything for me. It just seems to direct wind into my sort of helmet neck area. So, and also in the very cold weather that we get here in the winter, it's not really helpful. So I did inquire about what a bigger screen. There is a big screen that's available, and it's called an adventure screen. I haven't had that fitted yet. I was going to, well, I suppose I could fit it myself, but I was going to get it. But actually, I found in the because I was mainly commuting, I wasn't doing very long journeys, and it's still an item I would consider. But I think if I was going on regular long journeys, especially if you were touring, I think that the adventure screen is something that certainly for me I would consider. But I think just for doing short journeys locally, especially commuting, I don't feel that it's probably necessary. I just wish that it was, the 6th gear was a bit better for highway cruising, you know, for long straight roads, motorways, highways, whatever, because it does really rev a little bit higher than I'd like when I'm going on long open straight roads. So that would be a criticism. I don't do a lot of such riding, so I don't feel it's a bike I would want to take on a motorway. Maybe if you're in America, what would you call that? A freeway. They call them expressways in Japan. I don't think it's a bike I would want to take on those long open straight roads. It's perfect for flicking around mountain roads, it's perfect for windy roads, it's perfect for city streets, but it if you want something that of sustained high speed, I know it might sound obvious because it's only a 250, but yeah, I don't think you'd want this bike. As I said, it's flickable. It's really good actually. You can really flick it about. And another thing I like about it, you know, compared to, there was I forget what it was, is it the Versys? The other bike I was interesting because there are only really two bikes that I felt fitted my requirements, and one was the Kawasaki Versys 250. I think that's what it is. Correct me if I'm wrong. This is narrower and it's cheaper, so you know the price, the value for money is superb, but it's also narrower, and that was another point that interested me. Because it's narrow, it's another reason it's ideal for commuting. So there we are. It's interesting because you know, even though it's only a 250, it does look bigger, and it doesn't say on it 250. So if you're, you know, if you're image conscious, people will not necessarily assume it's a 250cc. It certainly has a bigger presence than its humble engine size, and I think well, obviously looks are always subjective, but I think that certainly it gives the impression of something bigger and something more prestigious perhaps. And yeah, well, obviously the styling is subjective, and it is has got some rather, I mean, this sort of beak-like feature here. And by the way, I do like the colour. I mean, I definitely went for the black and yellow, even though it was the display model. I think black and yellow was for me the best, definitely the best colour scheme. Well, here's another point to know. The front is only a single disc, no twin disc on this. Seems alright. Remember that you know, you're not really looking to go fast. It's not a sports bike. It will rev quite high, and it does. It's got a rev limiter. I've already found that out. Just to conclude, I think that if you're looking for a great all-rounder on a budget, and it doesn't matter whether you're a beginner, I think this would suit a beginner as much as it would suit an experienced rider. I am an experienced rider, I'm not a beginner. But I think if I were a beginner, I think I'd be very comfortable with this bike. It's very forgiving. It's not like, there's nothing unpredictable that's going to happen. And it's very easy because it's quite lightweight as well. Also, if you're an older rider and you're starting to get a bit weak in the muscles and that, again, I think it's ideal. If you're looking for a bike to go touring with a pillion, and you haven't, you know, you don't have any other requirements, if you simply want a 2-up touring machine, this I think it's a bit underpowered for that. So frankly, if you are looking for 2-up touring, yeah, go for something. I wouldn't choose a 250. I think that if you're not looking to ride fast, and you're just looking for touring around the countryside, especially, you know, tight, twisty roads, and you know you want to carry luggage, I think it's fine. It's very economical. If you've got a need for speed, then I don't think you'd be looking at a bike like this, you know. But I think that if you are looking for leisurely riding, but you've got enough power to whiz around city streets and tight, twisty country roads, there we are.